Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God. Chubs gone wild.
Well, good morning. It is Monday, January 13th, 2024. Welcome to Chubs Gone Wild at 575. Another milestone. It's currently 61 degrees and sunny in Chubland, or it is 7 days until MLK Day, 32 until Valentine's Day, 291 until Halloween, and only 347 days until Christmas. Yay!
Are you all packed up?
Oh yeah. In fact, the straggler stuff that I got, like finding deals at like Walgreens or something, or I found a little drummer boy Snoopy for like on sale for like $4, and it's a nice big one too. And so boxes and stuff like that. So yeah, everything's put away.
Wait, is that Snoopy? Is it three-dimensional or is it flat?
You'd think, but no, this is like a nice actual like, I don't want to call it's not a nutcracker because it's a little drummer boy, but it's kind of that
Yeah,
style.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but all that, so there's only two Santas that are out now, and they're ones that are too big I don't know what to do with them yet. I don't want to put them in something that'll protect them, but all done. Yeah. Happily so. Yeah, I'm very thankful for everything this year. We had a great little gathering, and I'm glad everything went well, but I was burned out through the whole thing. So, which is unlike me. I'm usually the one telling other people, snap it up. If it's not fun, why are you doing it? Yeah, I learned. Anyway, let's talk about our affirmation. Take a deep breath, center yourself, and repeat, I am capable, efficient, and organized. I have ample skills to get the job done. Yeah, okay. Actually, I was up at 8 this morning and got a whole bunch of stuff done. So I'm very impressed with myself about that, and that I'm not yawning and ready to fall asleep either. So energy's back. All right, well, let's talk about Patreon really quick. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and other little things here and there. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Stasage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sinatus, Kingsley, Catherine Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can be part of the fun and support the work that we do for as little as $1 a month. And also an extra special thanks this month because I just had to re-up our hosting, and they, of course, bumped up what they're making us pay. So we really, really appreciate you guys supporting us. All right. Well, in history, there were a number of things that happened on this day. Excuse me, starting on January 13th, 1962, when Ernie Kovacs, a comedian who hosted his own television show during the 1950s and is said to have influenced such TV hosts as Johnny Carson and David Letterman, died at the age of 42 after crashing his Chevrolet Corvair into a telephone pole in Los Angeles while driving in a rainstorm. Also, January 12th, January, 12th, but we'll go with it. What the hell? Haiti was devastated by a massive earthquake. It drew an outpouring of support from around the globe, but the small nation has yet to fully recover. But back to January 13th, 2021, Donald Trump, serving as the 45th president of the United States, was impeached for the second time 1 week before his term expired. On that date, the House of Representatives adopted one article of impeachment against Trump for incitement of insurrection. And yet, here we are. All right, well, let's see if we celebrate any holidays as soon as I can get this to stop doing it. Okay, today is Korean American Day. I have not observed that, but I am thankful for it.
But I would like to, if there was chicken involved, I'd like that.
Oh, that I can. Okay, I'm
Have you ever
fine with
had
that.
Korean fried chicken?
I believe so.
You'd know.
Yeah.
You'd know.
Okay.
It's it's extra crispy, crunchy. I mean,
Really good.
it's so good. I mean, real Korean fried chicken.
Uh,
Yeah.
I will have to try some because that sounds really, really good. It's Make Your Dream Come True Day. Did you?
Um, uh, Not specifically today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's National Clean Off Your Desk Day.
I don't have a desk,
Yeah, I
so
do, and
so I'm done.
it's relatively clean. So yeah, we both check. It's National Gluten Free Day. Have you had any gluten today?
No,
Oh,
I will later though.
have I? Oh yes, yes I have. I had a piece of bread. National Peach Melba Day.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen today.
No. Rubber Ducky?
No,
Nope, me neither. National Sticker Day.
no.
Sticker. I didn't even know her. Um, Public Radio Broadcasting Day. You better celebrate now. Who knows? Okay, thank you. Who knows?
I think um, I think this is becoming public radio. In a sense, I know it's
Yeah,
not, but it is. It's so funny because I'm watching shows where people are, like older people are talking, and it's like, yeah, well, I was listening to this podcast, oh, that podcast, oh, I'm listening to, satellite music, stuff like that.
right.
Um, yeah, they're saying that the radio station itself is, Oh, by the way, I funny thing on that, I was during Christmas, we have a local station, The Breeze, that plays nothing but Christmas music.
Right.
And every time I got in the car, it was rocking around the Christmas tree. It was
Yeah.
Burl Ives singing Holly Jolly Christmas. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it was all these old fucking songs. I mean, like one of the newest songs was All I Want for Christmas is You by Mariah Carey, right? So I'm like, where's all the new music? What,
Right.
or the
Yeah.
newer music? Come to find out that the week of before Christmas, the number one song in the nation was All I Want for Christmas Is You. Number four was Holly Jolly Christmas. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree was number five. And
Uh,
and then Sean, I was mentioning it to Sean, and he goes, well, find out what Sirius FM, what their Christmas. He goes, oh, here, let's put on the lineup. So he puts it on. First one that comes up is All I Want for Christmas Is You. And
mhm.
then Holly Jolly Christmas comes on, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree comes on. Brenda Lee actually hit over 1 billion plays on Spotify
That's
for
right.
Holly Jolly Chris. I mean, for Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Yeah.
And it's so it's just the lineup. People are so lazy that they're just going to one service and taking the music from it.
Right. Yeah.
And so then I felt like, oh, okay, that's not so bad then. I mean, the Breeze was just doing what everybody else is, and that's just going on automated, we'll just do the lineup. We'll give them the top 20 songs. The only song that wasn't a Christmas song that week was that song. What is it? It's Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah.
I'll see you when I'm dead, or something like that.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the only pop song in there. All the rest were old Christmas songs.
Wow.
Sorry,
I
that
know.
just
There's
I
so
just
many
thought
new ones
I
that
thought it
come
was
out every
interesting.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no, huh?
I would have thought didn't Taylor Swift have a Christmas album or something, or
You
something?
would think, right?
Yeah, or Billie Eilish, or Selena Gomez. Don't they have a Christmas album that would have been tracking something?
Yeah, like RuPaul had one a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
well, Michael Bublé was one of the top 10 songs as well, but it was oh, fucking Andy Williams is The Most Wonderful Time of the Year was number two.
Oh, did they have the date rape song?
No, that's
Yeah.
not that because that's not really a popular Christmas song. I mean, it's a song that's done during Christmas, but and of course it's like what is it? Every breath you take.
Oh.
It's like if you sit down and listen to it, the song is not as charming as it sounds.
No, no, it definitely is not.
Of
Yeah.
course, the police actually. I look back at some of the police's songs, and some of them they're kind of sketchy. I mean, Roxanne, you don't have to turn the red. They're talking about a prostitute, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I'm going to watch every move you make. Because it always sounded like it was such a sweet love song, but it's like I'm sitting outside your house all the time watching every movie. It's just so stalkery. It's scary.
Right.
It's a scary stalker song too.
And like you remember that song "Don't Stand So Close to Me"? And it turns out it's about like an underage student coming onto a male teacher.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
interesting.
yeah. All right. Well, it's also Stephen Foster Memorial Day. So, there you go. Those are the holidays that we had today.
Oh, that's a holiday. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got those, and now it's time to find out whose birthdays are coming up. Let's see. So, happy birthday to Cindy and Scott, aka Large Marge. Also, happy birthday to, oh, we have another Scott, Mr. Scott the Satyr. Okay, people, suddenly very popular. Um, Scott the Satyr, whose birthday is coming up tomorrow, and he will be 97 years old. No, I'm kidding. He's a youngin. It's also happy birthday to Paul, author G.A. Hauser. We have Shane and Doug, our local friend, Mr. Doug. Happy birthday to Marina, Miss Marina, from the formerly of the I Love Lard podcast. We have Ed Esteban and John, Kenneth, Tim, Heather, Paul, Robert, Michael, Dan, Max, Patrick, our former stage manager, and one of my besties, Miss Shafina. And we have Brimington, Mitch, Vicky, and one of our actors, Mr. Jimmy Joe, who worked with him numerous times. And also posthumously recognizing the birthday of my Uncle Jim, who passed away probably about 10 years ago now, and he would have been 58. So happy birthday, everyone. And next, we move into our feedback, where Terry says, thank you guys for the safe space with the upcoming uncertainty. I always know I can count on you two to make me laugh, and I love the new segment about remembering things. Thank you, Terry. And Mr. Nephi says, thank you for answering my question about Diana Ross. Very cool. All right, we only have some chub hugs. And for me, this time it is pets displaced by the fire. And of course, those separated from their pets because of it, and hope they are able to get reunited. There's a lot of shelters being overflowed. And you know what really disturbed me is there were people that were they were just taking their pets in to the shelters and like surrendering them, or I don't understand. I don't understand that. Anyway, and how about you?
Well, mine was is going to be that as well. But one thing that's been bothering me is that there seems to have been this outlash on famous people being upset that their houses got burned.
Mm,
You know, and people going, "Oh, boo-hoo for them." It's like, okay, well, first of all, those those celebrities live amongst people who aren't celebrities. So when you start bad mouthing people in Los Angeles, remember there are people who make $40,000 a year, and live in Los Angeles, and they got burned out too.
yeah.
They showed, it's like it's still your home,
Right,
you
right.
know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and then okay, you can go, oh well, they can afford to buy a new home, sure, but everything they had just burned up too.
Mm,
All
yeah,
their prized possessions, their pictures, their awards,
their
their
lives, their legacies, everything's gone,
I mean that
regardless of how famous you are or how much money you have. There are things that cannot be replaced.
and everybody likes, their stuff,
Yeah,
and there shouldn't be a a moratorium on what can happen if you're famous,
right. Like, oh, my home's worth 3,000 or $3 million, so therefore, nobody cry for me.
yeah.
You know.
And so,
Uh,
yeah, and so I'm not. That's not really a chub hug out for that. But I mean, I think that people need to understand that um, it's a disaster for everybody. And those people. Think about it. Some of those people had larger properties with horses that were probably killed, and
no,
and there, there's
yeah.
there's donkeys running around, donkeys and deer and cats and stuff running around LA because they were up in the hills, and they
Mhm.
came down and they're just wandering the streets. So everybody got just
Displaced. Yeah.
displaced, but then there's not a lot of places for them to go. I mean,
Right.
that's a lot of people. There were thousands of structures that were burned down, which
Right.
means homes. So
Right.
where are those people supposed to go? I was watching one show, and she goes, "Well, a friend of mine has come to stay with us because they got burned out, but because they're hotels are packed,
Mhm.
and some people can't afford hotels.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, and that's true because one of the things that there was I don't want to go into the article itself, but one of them was talking about all the places that burned and can't be replaced and blah blah blah, and they were talking about all the rich homes and all the rich people, and then one of my friends pointed out, you notice that that person didn't even talk about like Altadena, which is predominantly black,
right.
and all their homes that were destroyed. But apparently they don't register because they're not, more wealthy, in a more wealthy area, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is not being talked about. And of course, what is being talked about is all the misinformation from, the misinformation monster.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
okay.
and I love how they're bitching out about Gavin Newsom. Like he wasn't he didn't get out there and rake that floor. But
Right.
the thing is, you could go out there to these places, and take the hillside and just take a tractor and just kill everything, because it's all that brush, all that
Mhm.
beautiful mountain brush that is burning. and trees. So should we just skin down the world so nothing will burn anymore? I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand how they can say this is Gavin Newsom's fault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is coming from a man slash organization that still believe that there's a giant faucet in Canada that controls the water flow down our coast,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I just
Well, and oh, and that we're not giving enough water from Northern California to Southern California because they don't want to take the water from Northern California that waters 70% of the food that is supplied by the state to the
right.
nation. There's there it's and they get their water from Hoover Dam.
Mhm.
Los Angeles does. So it's got its own pattern here, and it's
Right.
just stupid people on the internet just talking about crap they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of like us, but we do it on a much smaller,
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, they've said we have plenty of water. That's not the point. There hasn't been any rainfall or anything, so everything is dry and a
right.
tinderbox. But
And the winds were 100 miles an hour.
right. And did you hear about that one like helicopter that's like a water dropping helicopter or something like that? And it got grounded because somebody ended up flying a drone into one of the
Yeah.
engines or something. Ugh.
Well, and some of these fires were arson fires too.
Yes, and that's another little thing that's been like is it true? Is it not true? And then like why are they popping up all over the city at different points? Something's going on. And then they got that one guy and they don't think that he was the arsonist, but he did have outstanding warrants and stuff, so they're keeping him.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was a thing or not because you can only trust so much. But
Hmm.
there were guys that were taking cans of gas and just like a gallon of gas and throwing it into an area that was so when it gets hit with fire, it's just going to blow up. And they had like multiples in the back seat of their the trunk of their car, and I'm like,
Were
God,
they wearing red hats?
I hope it's not real, but
I hope
you
so.
know, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's really ugly, and it makes me sad.
Well, California is a lot more resistant. Is that the right word I want? Resilient than I think a lot of people give us credit for. So we're gonna recover. We're gonna do fine.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not worried about that. It's just I'm worried about the just the fucking ugliness of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, in the news, in a historic move, Princess Kate is set to bestow the honor of a royal warrant on any British companies whose goods are sold to the royal household. The news comes as the princess has been making a steady return to public duties after her abdominal surgery and the completion of her chemotherapy, following her cancer diagnosis last year. She will become the first princess to grant the warrants since Queen Mary, who issued warrants before her husband King George V came to the throne in 1910. So if they eat Cadbury, you're gonna find they're gonna get a royal warrant from Princess Kate. Speaking of Cadbury, those Cadbury eggs that you can't stand?
Yeah.
So there are packs of four of them that are sold at stores, and they're usually like, $3 or $4, something like that, about $1 a piece. At the store the other day, I saw a pack of them for $6.50 for four of
Now,
these tiny little eggs
are
that
they little ones or the bigger ones?
they're the regular size
Okay.
Cadbury eggs, but they're now 6.50. And then the the fun size like what are the fun size Butterfingers?
Yeah.
So they're not fun size anymore. They're the bite size ones. And they're in the smaller bag, which is about half the size maybe of the fun size bag. And they are over $7 a piece. I think that the prices aren't coming down. What do you think?
Well, the only Costco I can get eggs at is the business center over in Country Club,
Yeah.
because everybody's, got to run on eggs because, the bird flu, which does not affect eggs. But yeah, but
Okay.
but I do know that they did have to kill off a bunch of chickens, I guess.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so, but but at Costco, I got 2 dozen eggs for $6.
See that's beautiful because even at Winco last week, 18 eggs was over $11
Yeah.
at
Oh, I saw that
Winco. Yeah.
at San Miguel, which is right near me.
Yeah.
Two dozen eggs was $13. They were $6.50 a dozen, and
Mm,
I got 2 dozens for the same price at Costco because they're not gouging at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, but ugh. All right. What we getting into next? We have talked about that. Oh, it's time for celebrity deaths.
Well, let's see. Peter Yarrow, who is Peter, Paul, and Mary, died this last week at 86 years old.
Hmm.
Um, according to what I heard, he was mean to one of Brian's friends.
Oh.
Paul was really nice, who's still alive. Mary's been dead for a few years now,
Mm,
but he said that, of course, some people just don't, it's just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you want to be bothered. You know,
yeah.
I never, I don't really go up to celebrities when I see celebrities. I just saw them, so
Hmm.
now they're my close personal friend, and
Right.
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And good news, Anita Bryant, pop singer, Florida Orange pitch woman, and
Mm,
anti-gay crusader from the 70s,
mm,
has died at 84 years old. What's interesting is she died in the middle of December, and they waited 3 weeks to talk about it. And I think they did that deliberately, so we didn't have the joy of knowing she was dead over the holidays. Um, but the one plus that we have, because those of you who don't know who Anita Bryant is, look it up. She's a villain to our community
Yep.
from the 70s was when she was really terrible. Um, um, and so because what she wanted, she was part of the group that wanted to make sure that there were no gay teachers, because get those gays in there and they start touching the children. No, that's not who it is. But anyway, so I remember I was on a flight to Hawaii in 1977, and they had magazines, and they were talking about her, and I was just so
Mm,
angry at what she did. So um, the one plus is that she was alive to know, if not see, that her granddaughter married a woman.
yes. I
So
was gonna say that. Yeah.
that's the one plus in all this. Um, besides her death, let's see the oh it's in Port Charles, which is
Mm,
General Hospital. The woman who played Monica Quartermain on General Hospital for years, um, she passed away. Leslie Charlson.
oh.
Um, so that's, I think, for that group, it's going to be like the Drake Hogestyn for our group, because she's been on the show 10 years longer than Drake was. So
Mm,
just crazy. And finally, Phyllis Dalton, the costume designer for Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Zhivago, Henry VIII, the Princess Bride. Um, she died at 99 years old. She won the Academy Award for Henry V and for Uh, it was not Lawrence Olivier, it was Dr. Zhivago. And what was the oh God, I've got to look this up real quick. I was looking up her today. God damn it. And there was something that was really, really cool about her second show that she did, second costumes.
Hmm.
Um, uh, okay, Phyllis. And what was her last name again?
Dalton.
Dalton, thank you. There it is. Her very first thing she did was, oh my God,
Hmm.
stop it. Stop doing this. I don't want to see that. I want to see her filmology. Where am I? Okay, there we are. And let's see. Oh, that was other things. I went too far. I'm glad we're not timed.
Right.
Okay, there we go. Oh, the second thing she did was she was the um, costume designer on A Christmas Carol, the one with Alistair Sims.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive. That was still one of my favorites.
yeah, but I mean that's a classic, you know.
Yeah.
That one's kind of cool. I thought, oh yeah, that's neat. You know, although you go Dr. Zhivago, oh my God, the costumes in that were fantastic. But that's you know,
I don't think I've ever made it through it.
oh yeah, it's terribly boring. But the costumes were costumes and cinematography were fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Well, before we get into talking about your week, are you going to Hamilton?
I am on Wednesday, and that was
Eee.
part of my week too.
Oh,
So
okay. Well,
um, yeah,
okay. Well, let's get into Tom's week.
okay. Let's see. RuPaul's Drag Race. We're in season 17, second week. Now, what happened the first week? They had all 14 together, which was interesting because they haven't been doing it that way. They did bring in 7 and 7, but this time they brought in all 14, and then they said, "You guys pick who goes first and who goes second." So they did that last week. Um, and the person who was in the bottom um, remains in the bottom. So this week they did another 7. They did they did their talent, and then one of them ended up in the bottom, and so she goes up against last week's one that's in the bottom,
Mhm.
and so and by the way, she was terrible. Her name is Hormona Lisa, and and she did stand-up comedy, but she forgot that stand-up comedy is supposed to be funny. Okay, so terrible. But then so they did the lip syncing. Hormona ended up losing the lip sync. But then they've got a new thing, you know, because Rue loves to do stupid shit like you know, magic candy bars and stuff like that that will save you if you get in the bottom. So there's 12 levers. It's either 10 or 12 levers. I think maybe it's just 10, but there's levers, and each lever there's 2 levers that will give you safety, and the other levers will give you know you're still going to go home. And so, but the levers are connected to a dunk tank that has Michelle Visage sitting on the dunk tank. Just
Okay.
it's so silly. But Brew probably went, "Hey, is anybody using that dunk tank? We need to use that dunk tank." Well, anyway, so she picks, I think it was number 7. She pulls the lever, and Michelle goes into the water.
Uh,
And all the girls are like going, "Fuck! Now we got to keep her. Oh God damn it!"
oh.
And now we're down to one save for the entire season. So it was, I mean, it was stupid, but it was super funny. So I guess that's what we want. So
Yeah.
let's see. This week we're coming on the last episode of Skeleton Crew, whether it's for the season. This is on Disney season, or if it's on, you know, if it's going to come back. They haven't said.
Hmm.
So like I said, last episode, um, we're in the mid of the third season of Lost, and it's just I'm just I don't remember all the craziness that went on, just the insanity. I guess because we were going week by week by week, and then I never went back and watched it. This is the first time I've watched it since it came out, 20 years ago. So, but one thing I did notice that's pretty interesting is that everybody on the show, if you look at it, nobody's really the lead actors outside of the two Asian characters
Hmm.
actors. They're both still working, but the rest of them, they're not working so much, right? But it's like a who's who of who is working now. The guest people that came in. Nathan Fillion was on the episode last night. 2 episodes before, it was Julie Bowen from Modern Family.
Oh,
Before that, it was Peg from, uh, you know, uh,
Married with
was
Children.
Married with Children, and so, but it's just like, oh, look who that is. Oh, look who that is. Which is it's kind of fun. At least it gives a whole different dimension because a lot of these people were not famous at that time,
Hmm.
So with the exception of Peg, she was. But anyway, let's see. Silo. I'm on the. We get their last episode of Silo season 2 this week. Um, Watched Girls Will Be Girls, which is a
Oh,
great movie. It's on Netflix right now. Honestly, if you've got Netflix and you've never watched Girls Will Be Girls.
mhm.
It's an hour, I think, 34 minutes, and it is just hilarious. It's three women, all drag queens, but they're not drag queens in the show. They're playing women in the show, and and they're doing, they all room together and they're all trying to make it big. And one was almost kind of big, but the rest had never quite achieved it. And
It's
and
got our
speak
Coco Peru in it.
and speaking of surprise people, Eric Stone Street from Modern Family plays the rapist doctor in it.
Oh, I didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
he's the one that marries Coco.
Ugh, I have to watch it again. And it's funny actually, because Clint, I was over at Clint's and he had a whole bunch of DVDs out that he got out to watch, and that was one of them. And it reminded me that I need to watch it again. It's so good.
Yeah, so fantastic show. It's really, really, really fun.
Hmm.
Let's see. New this week, Deal or No Deal Island is back on Peacock. And it's hosted by Joe Magliano.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't say it either, but yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Modern Family, let's see, Wild Card Kitchen, which is back on Food Channel for a new season. And this is weird because after Christmas, there's just I don't like watching the nighttime talk shows anymore because all their entire opening monologue is about Trump
Yeah.
every time. So I'm just so tired of it. So I didn't want to go to bed, so I watched the 4 episodes of Is It Cake Holiday Edition,
Aw.
and it was actually. Did you watch it?
Yeah. Part I not
It
this
was
year. No, not
it was pretty funny because they were doing all Christmas stuff. So it's like they did, one of them did a snowman, and they had 5 snowmen you had to pick between, and it was short. Like I said, there were 4 episodes, so it's in and
mm,
out pretty quick. But it was nice late night, easy, get you ready for
yeah.
bed kind of
Yeah, you
stuff.
don't have to think about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I heard this I thought was interesting. Wicked was released on digital, to buy on the New Year's Eve, and in its first 7 days, it made seven. I'm sorry, $70 million,
Wow.
and that's in downloads. And
Oh,
Moose, thanks for helping out the people at Wicked.
all right.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Just starting up last week was Traders season 3. This is the Alan Cummings reality show where they're in a Scottish castle with a bunch of reality stars.
Oh.
If you like the reality star show kind of bullshit, then this is a fun one because he's so gay, just so gay. Yeah, it's like I know he's bisexual, but he is the gayest man, I swear. So let's see, Goosebumps over on Disney Hulu just started back up. That's this season. I thought they were going to follow the dummy from
Mhm.
last season that got away, but it's actually a whole new storyline. And this one stars David Schwimmer, um, and it's he's got these two. He's got his two kids coming to live with him after the divorce, but they're both 17, but they're living with him for the summer, and he's kind of a botanist, and there's some kind of weird thing that's growing in his basement. So pretty good. The only really funny part is that they're trying to make him not look older. They're trying to make him look young because
Ah.
he's nearly 60 years old, right?
Uh,
And so they gave him kind of shaggy hair, but the face says 60. That's all I'm saying. Animal Control is back on Hulu and ABC.
oh.
Um, and then I have Anita Bryant, No One Mourns the Wicked. So
Mhm.
and then, oh, this is fun. I just started watching a new show on Hulu. It's called Shifting Gears, and it's with two of Brian's favorites, Tim
Mhm.
Allen and Kat Dennings.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
And she plays his daughter, who basically was driven away from home because of an overbearing father, and now she got a divorce and she has nothing, and so she's coming back to stay with dad with her two kids. And it wasn't bad, but I mean, it's Tim Allen and Kat
Mm.
Dennings, so if prominently in the show. So I like Brian can't stand Kat Dennings. I mean,
Mm.
the sound of her voice he can't stand, and Tim Allen is just easy not to like, although he's
Yeah.
hot. Um,
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna counter that.
let's see, a new show on Max right now is called The Pit, and according to what I was told, it's a 15 episode season that takes place over a 15-hour time period, work shift. So
Huh.
it's in a hospital, and it's in the emergency room. So the first episode was 7 to 8 o'clock, and then the second is 8 to 9 o'clock. That's what so each episode is going to be 1 hour of a time. Of course, Sean's watching. He was fascinated by it. He thought it was really well done, coming from the a professional aspect. But he goes, but believe me, there ain't that much shit going on that many things going on in that hospital.
Uh,
And the doctor in charge, he's like hitting all the rooms and stuff. But they did have some funny things. One of them was this guy had a small blockage um, uh, in his, I guess, intestines or colon. And
uh,
at one point, they walk one of the new doctors walks into his room, and he's got shit all over himself, and he's sitting on on the bed, sitting on a one of those things, those
okay.
bedpans,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my god, he's got shit all over himself. Oh my
Uh,
god, oh my god, I was freaking out. They also did some things that were like freaking me out too. So needles and cutting. One woman got her leg mangled in the like in the subway. She fell on down there, got her leg caught, and then her leg got mangled, and they were going to have to amputate it. And we're seeing it. It was really. I don't know that you're going to like it.
yeah. It doesn't sound like it's gonna be my cup of tea.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I'm going to see Hamilton on Wednesday. And then we've planned a New York trip for April.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to go to we're going to get there on a Sunday, I think it is a Sunday, and uh, we're going to see, be there for 6 days, and then from there we're going to travel to Turkey. We're going to go from New York to Turkey, to Istanbul, and we're going to get hair transplants.
Oh, really?
Uh
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to talk about the journey
Yeah.
that goes on. Well, it's just, and it's funny because when I tell most people, I go, yeah, like I told my niece, I said, oh yeah, we're going to go to Istanbul, and she goes, are you getting hair transplants? And I said, yeah. And she goes, well, guys go for hair transplants, girls go for nose jobs or boob jobs. So it's and then I was watching Saturday Night Live, and they were at the airport, and they said, well, it's so much fun watching the people who are going here and there, and they go, oh look, here's all the people that coming from Istanbul, that have gotten nose jobs and hair transplants, and all these people with their little tapes over
Oh,
it,
that's
and
right.
so it's a
Uh,
thing. It's a thing.
okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, whatever works. I watched something like that quite recently, which I'll talk about here. But so you heard that the Orville is returning for season 4.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. I hope that it does really well. I wonder if they'll acknowledge the time gap.
Uh, well, I don't know.
You know?
I mean, they might have. Well, the kids are in makeup, so that's not good. Because the only kids on there are the Klingons kids.
Well, and her 2 kids.
Oh wait, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, so they're going to be quite adult-ish, I think, at this point, or at least the older one will. Although, frankly, I can't stand her kids. I think that they write
Yeah.
them as spoiled little shits. Um,
Well, and yeah, just trouble.
yeah,
They're and they shouldn't be troubled. They are, the older one especially is just trouble.
yeah, exactly. And then now, am I wrong? Didn't they have a wedding between? Yeah, they ended it with a wedding between her and the android or whatever he is.
Okay. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I do kind of I think that was the only part of the entire series, well, for the most part, that I went, really? Really? Okay, whatever.
Well, wasn't she dating the goop at one point?
I think so, but I think that only lasted for like one episode or something.
No,
But
no, no, no.
it's
Remember
been
when
a
they
while.
they walked in, and the goop was completely covering her, and it was like, oh, ew, that's just nasty. I don't know
Okay,
what.
I don't even remember that. But yeah. Ugh. All right. Well, my week, it's been quite a week. I've been trying to catch up on some watching, starting with I'm still slugging the way through the Christmas cookie challenge, or Christmas cookie, gingerbread cookie, whatever cookie it is now, with Ree Drummond and Eddie Jackson. The Since they in the more modern season, it could have been this season or it could have been last season. I don't remember which one I'm on, but now I'm seeing more of the stuff that you're talking about with how they change it up, and it's much better the way that they've changed it to make it a little bit more like the with they win a challenge. When they win the first challenge, somebody gets a a bonus thing to help them with the next round and stuff like that. It's just much better. Eddie, when he tries to judge, he still annoys me, and I still have see most of the men, if they even get to round 2, they're pretty much out. Don't always agree with that, but whatever. Still, I'm liking the way that they changed the show up much, much better than the original versions. Um, and then Queer Eye. So I binged Queer Eye, finished it off. And one of the things I thought was just kind of eye rolling was Anthony instructing the single mother with no job on cooking from scratch with fresh parm and all these other ingredients, which are super expensive and basically would make maybe two meals for that many people at a time. Um, and I'm like going, you could feed all these people for with prepackaged stuff. It's not healthy, but you could do it for like a couple dollars a thing. And here he's like, here, buy these $30 of ingredients for something that's gonna last two meals. Like, no, no, uh-uh.
That's the only problem you had with him this season. Not
Well,
the
no,
the
no, I'm not. I'm saying that was the main one that stood out on the episode that I wrote down.
oh, I thought you had
No,
watched all
he
of them.
actually, you know what? I've never minded him, but on this season, he was kind of standoffish, or they didn't really think, oh, I'm going through a breakup, and he just basically shows up, does some lame ass dish, and
Well, in a tank
why?
top
Why? Yeah.
or no shirt. It's like,
Yeah, there were no shit. There were no shirts this time. This whole season, nobody was shirtless.
well, he was at one time. It's
All I remember is when he was
episode two
on
or
the
three, he
bike.
was shirtless.
Hmm. Maybe I just didn't notice because I wasn't paying attention to him much. But I do like the new guy. Took me a
Yeah.
couple episodes to get into him, but once like his story was out there, he was like totally invested in everything emotionally. I'm like, you're good. I like you.
Now you do know that he was supposed to be the first
Yeah,
Bobby. Yeah.
yeah. And
So I
and I
thought,
think that would have worked fine. I mean, I like Bobby a lot, but I think that Jeremiah works great.
no, he does, and it's nice having somebody that because oh my, now did you watch all the episodes?
Yeah.
Okay, the last episode, he was a ball of shit. I mean, he just crying and crying, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, Jesus,
Yeah, he
buck
was.
it
I
up,
mean, he was just sobbing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then I think that's the difference. I mean, these guys are probably pretty used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just it's another thing that's like this is one of those shows that make me have hope for humanity. So I'm really glad that I watched it.
Now, I did tell you that they did not with the new cast, but with Bobby's cast. They did Big Mouth, where
Mhm.
they went on as their characters, and my favorite part was Bobby's going, oh sure, you buy him a shirt and you cut his hair and you talk to him and you make him food and I rebuild his entire life.
Uh-huh. Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm always I know it's not just him. He's got a crew that comes in
Yeah.
there, but seriously, I mean the rest of them, they come in there and the first thing that he does, Jonathan jumps on the Coach Steve's lap, and because it was so perfect, and I was so glad the guys did it because
Mm.
it was it was like an episode, but just dumb as shit. And of course, Tan keep going. He's a very, very dumb man. He's dumb. He's very dumb. And Coach Steve is the dumb character. So it was funny because he's the honest guy in there. It's like, I know you're
Mm.
not wearing this. So anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, no, I'm really, really glad that that show exists, that they brought it back, and they are changing lives. I mean, with that Spanish or the Mexican family, well, they're American now, of course, but you know what I mean. Um,
Hispanic.
yeah, and I mean, just the changes that they did for her and the way that she broke down, and she's just like, I prayed for somebody to help, and it's just like it's so wonderful. Or wait, maybe that was the African American woman. I don't know. They all blend, but I love them all. So I ended up watching the Apprentice movie. That's the one about Donald Trump in the early days, where he was friends with Roy Cohn and everything. This movie, frankly, I want to say I want to find something redeeming about it. Maybe I can say that the actors did a decent job. Um, the whole thing was felt very like how a late 70s, early 80s movie felt like with the film quality and the way they shot it and everything. It was I don't know, it's one of those films that at the end of it I was like, and you made this why? I don't know. I don't know. Um, didn't didn't do anything, didn't tell me anything new, didn't dissuade. It was just kind of like, who cares? Um, anyway, but good performances, and the whole Roy Cohn thing was very interesting. But the rest of it, slow, sluggish, couldn't care less, really. Speaking of slow and sluggish, I watched a movie called Goodbye 70s. And basically, this is during the 1970s in New York. A promising chorus boy is injured and is told that he will never dance again. So he gets his friends and lovers together to start making successful hardcore movies. The AIDS epidemic is not washed over to make it palatable, but I fear sheds a negative light on the promiscuity of the era. Anyway, this is full of sexual situations, nudity, smoking, drugs everywhere, et cetera, et cetera. And then basically all but the guy with more weight on him pretty much dies of HIV and or AIDS, really, because that's what you die of. Um, Again, they made it in the same film quality as what a 70s porn would have been. Same type of editing, same type of angles, same type of, oh my God, somebody please learn how to edit the dead time out of this thing. Um,
So what was that on?
it's on I believe I believe you have to like have Deku, which is one of the movies that you can get through Amazon, or you can get the channel or something through that. I found mine somewhere else. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is an art to this film that if you watched 70s porn and everything, that you would really appreciate. But at the same time, you're like, oh my God, couldn't you have edited an hour out of this, just made it a short, and I would have gotten as much out of it as I did. Really good performances, but and once they get to the HIV era, it's just downhill from there. Anyway, moving on, I did watch Squid Games 2, and I enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to 3. I totally understood everything that you said about, that there were episodes where you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And then there'd be episodes where you're just like, holy shit. Um, it's a really good series. And I gotta say that the lead actors are really nice to look at too. Um,
Okay, Goodbye 70s. You
yeah.
can get it on Prime.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And you said you wanted to clip at least an hour out of it. It
Yeah,
was an hour and 32 minutes.
that would have worked.
Oh my God.
Everything that they had to say could have been done in 32 minutes and it would have been fine. It's kind of like, the old 70s movies or the porn movies where it took them like 30 minutes to get to where they finally did anything. It was kind of like that. Anyway, so yeah, Squid Games 2, totally recommend that. That's on Netflix, of course. Conclave, you recommended Conclave, so I did watch that, and I was surprised by the twists and turns in it, which I didn't think I was going to be. But yeah,
I mean, so the first few were fine, but I never saw the last one.
Yeah.
That one never even occurred to me.
No, actually, you're right. Never occurred to me either. No. So, and of course, I will not spoil that, but
Yeah.
I will say that if you have any desire to watch Conclave, do it. It's worth
I
it,
mean,
and great
acting's great.
performances.
Yeah, acting's great. The
No.
sets are amazing because that's not the Vatican. I was watching an interview and they said that Ray Fiennes said that there's a place that it's kind of an old set, a place where they always go when they want to film the Vatican.
Mm,
So it's a place that they can use that's not in the Vatican, but it looks like the Vatican. So
it sure does.
it was great.
Yeah,
I
it
still
was
can't
really
believe
good.
that Isabella Rossellini got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress when she's only got really one good scene in the show.
She was the nun, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
No, good for her, but yeah, you're right.
But like Stanley Tucci didn't get a nomination, and John Lithgow didn't get a nomination, but she
Now
did.
his character blew me away, and I won't go into
Yeah.
any of
Well,
that. But yeah.
just I mean, so much because you always think that you know why do I say I'll never get on another board? You
Uh-huh.
know, this is the reason because it's like you think that everybody's working for the same to go in the same direction, but they're not. They're all working to go and they're whatever is going to benefit them.
Right.
And that's it, if you're running a theater, a live theater, or you're running the Vatican, it's just everybody's out for themselves.
Yep.
Ugh.
Okay. Even in the they're just there to do the Lord's work. Uh-huh. Right.
The way I've defined what the Lord's work is.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
So I watched an episode of Secret Body, which was the British version, basically the Kilted Coaches, for anyone that remembers them at this point. They were hired to do the hosting of this show called The Secret Body, which was where they would help people lose weight, but they would have designers design a bodysuit, and as they lost weight and their body changed, they would make the suit resemble their old body so nobody would know except like their partner that they were actually losing weight, and then at the end of it would be this big reveal, which always to me was like, well, that's kind of a neat idea, but that's a lot of work for very little payoff. um I miss the Kilted Coaches for who they were. I don't even think they're friends anymore. So yeah, sad. But it was nice to see the show. Industry season one. Do you ever watch Industry? Okay, so it's an HBO show. I ended up watching one episode of it, and there's been three seasons, and I ended up kind of getting hooked. And last night I binged the rest, the seven episodes of season one. And there's two more seasons, eight episodes apiece. It's really good. It's basically about the main focus character. There's a little group of them. The main focus character is a young Black American woman who basically lied about her college, completing college, to get into a financial institution in Britain to be able to be like an inside, or not inside, but like a trader, and trade, goods and sell stock market and blah blah blah. Um, and it's just full of drugs and nudity and sex everywhere, and everybody's like either bisexual or doing this or that. Um, it's just one of those fun shows that you just kind of throw on and say, okay, entertain me. I watched Ruthless People from 1986. I have not seen this in like 100 years, and I forgot how damn good it is. It is just so funny, and so again, so many twists and turns. If you haven't seen it for a while, I totally recommend it. Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, and also we're going to be talking about that on an upcoming Matinee Minutia. Two's Company.
By the way,
Yeah.
my favorite part, whenever I think of it, it always goes to when Judge Reinhold goes, we got to get him we got to take from him what he loves the most. And she goes, his testicles. No, his money.
Uh,
Okay.
there are so many good one-liners in that show. Oh, I mean, it's go watch it. Go watch it
It
again.
is
It's so
one.
fun.
It's one of my favorites from that time
Oh,
period.
and did you know that after the show was done, the show came out, the movie was released, that Bette Midler called Danny DeVito, or no, one of them called the other one and said, "Oh my God, the movie was so bad, our careers are over," and then it became a box office smash. So yeah. Anyway, Elaine, is Elaine Stritch? Yeah, Two's Company. I've been finishing that out. I've got another season of that to go. It's gotten better, but still, most of the episodes just have no damn point to it. And it's the cast that carries it because the writing just ain't there. And then I watched World of Warcraft movie again. I have not seen it since it was in the theater, and Mr. Larry Dean said, you need to watch it again. I think you'll like it more. And he was right. I really enjoyed it this time, and yeah, so fun. Go watch that, and you don't have to have played the game to
No,
get
not at
what's
all.
going on. So, all right, advice. As an overweight gay man, I've had my ups and downs with body image, and dating hasn't always been a cakewalk, though I do love cake. My last relationship ended, and my ex admitted my weight gain was part of the issue. Ouch. Now I'm trying to bounce back with confidence, but the thought of jumping into a dating pool feels a little intimidating. How can I embrace my fabulous self, laugh off the judgment, and find someone who loves me for all of me, curves and all? Join a nonprofit.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I don't.
well, no, I find that the easiest way to meet new people is by finding a place where those people go,
Right.
the kind of people you want. I always use the example. I was working with this girl, and she goes, "Why can't I meet a millionaire?" And I go, "Because the millionaires aren't at Applebee's in the bar.
Yeah.
Find out where the millionaires are and go there."
Yep.
The millionaires don't come up to your door and knock on the door going, "I'm looking for someone just like you." And so I mean, I met the last two people I've been with through the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So, and though the Bears aren't a thing anymore,
Mm.
there are things still in different places. Or, if you, find something you like. When my brother's wife died, he was, locked away, and I said, find something you like. So he says, well, I like to hike, and I go, find a hiking group.
Mm.
And so he found a hiking group, and he found, he met his girlfriend. So find some place, and then that way, and now now if you're okay, so how much weight did he put on?
He doesn't really say,
Yeah,
but
it doesn't
I
say.
would I would guess it was a little significant.
Yeah, so but he was, I think he was always an overweight guy. So
Mm.
I just that way people know who you are.
Yeah.
And because I would suggest not going to heterosexual classes on pottery. That's probably not a great thing. But if
Mm.
there's a gay group that does pottery and you want to
Yeah.
do pottery, perfect. But
Hey.
you just have to find where the people are. And
Yeah.
if it means joining a nonprofit, it means joining a nonprofit.
Or saving up and going to Cannonball or the LA Chub Bash or
Yeah, no. This person wants to meet somebody, not fuck
well, they'll meet
somebody.
somebody.
Yeah, I know. And that's all, those people, a lot of those people are married. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot of dating opportunities. There's just a lot of, I mean, you'll find people who like what the way you look, but
Mhm.
and then then you're just going to have the heartache again because you're thinking, oh, this person really likes me. Sunday's here, they're already on their plane somewhere else. So, back home to
Yeah.
their husband.
But
That's but I think you got to find something in your town that you're interested in,
mhm.
that's gay, that or at least that will have gay men there, and yeah, and then just go from that. Find people that way.
Right. The one thing that the other group going to the cannonball and stuff will do is it'll help with your confidence
Sure.
because they will build you up by telling you how much they like everything. But you're right. If you're looking for love, yeah, some good advice there. Okay. Hey Chubs, Timothy wants to know, do you make your bed with a top sheet? How about a dust ruffle or a bedspread?
No top sheet.
Same.
What we have individual blankets,
Mm,
and actually they're both king size individual blankets. I'll tell you one thing I've learned is sleep is very important, and keeping warm is very important while you're sleeping. And when you've got somebody that rolls with your blanket and then you're sitting there shivering, it makes for bad relationships. So we got rid of the top sheet because honey liked to sleep under the blanket, and
mm,
then she would go out through the bottom of the bed when she jumped out the bed. So if we had the top blanket or top sheet, she'd be caught down there, which she may have
oh,
liked.
mhm,
But So we got rid of that dust ruffle. We do have, just because I don't like seeing the bottom, what's under the bed.
mm,
And bedspread, I have a down comforter that we share when we need it. Otherwise, it's in the center of the bed, kind of
mm.
there to pull either way. Not a lot of cuddling, but then it's sleep time.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. I love the idea of dust truffles and all that fun stuff, but no top sheet. Dust truffle ends up working its way out and then is a pain to get set. I just no, not gonna do that. I have a king size blanket that Tom got me for my birthday, which I absolutely love. And then I have a huge king size quilt that my mom got me, actually, I think for my birthday too. Um, and those are my, and then
yeah.
I have another quilt and another smaller blanket, and I actually use those on my pillows, and it makes it a nice, cozy little nest. So, hey Chubs, Timothy wants to know, what's your favorite room in the house? My bedroom, because that's basically where my everything is. My
Yeah,
desk, my work, my playtime, my bed.
yeah. Mine would be the living room
Mm,
because fireplace, the 85-inch TV,
yeah.
the bar. It's all here.
Yeah,
All my favorite things.
cool. Hey Chubs, Timothy wants to know, have you ever hit a piñata? If so, did you break it? I think maybe once I hit one, and no, I don't think it broke. I don't think that I was that into it, honestly.
Yeah, I know that the one that stands out to me was we were on vacation, and they had it was work vacation. So then they had a piñata that looked like each of the managers of the salespeople.
Uh,
So
yeah,
they had the red team, the blue team, and the gold team. And so I was on the gold team, and they broke the other two. They broke the piñata, but um, then they said, okay, well, and ours wasn't broken. So I'm like, why didn't it break? So I'm like hitting it over as everyone's leaving. I'm hitting it, trying to break it.
Yeah.
And I remember the president's wife who was there, she goes, does he have like issues with Dawn? And it's like, and I'm like, no, I want to see what's inside because we got nothing out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. Yeah, no, no, I don't have any pinata stories. Although one of our dear friends um bought a um a 45, let's put it that way, pinata for hella cheap, thinking that it would be a funny like gift or something for somebody, and it ended up in his garage for years. So, all right. Well, let's get into I remember, and this is I remember my favorite board games as a kid.
See, I mean, I did have a lot of board games. Stratego, um,
Hmm.
and Monopoly. We had Sorry, um, Battleship. That's a
Oh,
board game, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but my problem as a kid was that my brother's 9 years older than me, so he always would beat the shit out of me on games,
Mm.
even with family games. And then, when I got older, um, I hated people who didn't want to play the game; they win the game.
Yeah.
I can think of I think it was Monopoly or was it Spades game that we had over here at the house that got very ugly.
Mexican Train. It was a
Was that
domino
what it was? It
game.
was
Yeah.
dominoes. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that person when they played Monopoly played, you know, to murder. You know, I don't care if all
Mm.
you people are dead. You know, wasn't having a good time. And then if they don't win, no one has a good time. And
Right.
I've gotten off of games just because I got tired of. I don't like playing games with those people, and that's not the only person that does that. There's
Yeah.
always one in a group.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I love games and game nights and playing new games and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
Um, but and we have a group that would be great to get together and do that. I think we don't have anyone that would be like super having to win.
Well, when we played the uh, Cards Against Reality,
Uh-huh.
um, we always got along pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see anybody getting mad.
No, no. And that was fun too. Um, when I was a kid, I just loved playing games. I loved the Candyland. I remember when my mom played Candyland with me once. That was really fun. I loved the game of life. I would
Oh
play
yeah,
that as much as I could.
yeah, but I always got stuck with kids, and I didn't want
Oh,
that.
I know. It was always fun when you got like 20 sets of twins or something by the
It was
end.
horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah.
Um, but I didn't play Monopoly much as a kid. I do like it, but it's not one of my favorites because you just get to a point where somebody's going to get all the money and why? Um, sorry,
Remember?
that was a
Remember?
really good one.
Did you ever play Risk?
No, I was one of the kids that never played Risk. Never. Mm-mm.
Yeah. See, that's when you have an older brother, you get the weirder games.
Mm.
Yeah. So the more I guess, well, it's not adult. You know, they are kind of more adulty. You know, you're plotting out, taking over your armies trying to take over Asia. You know, and so they come in with the bombs and the stuff. Yeah. So it was interesting, um, but when I was with my friends, we played the more kid games.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Mystery Date?
I played it once when I was older. Somebody had it and we played it. I don't.
Which boyfriend did you get?
I think I got the preppy nerdy guy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I always tried going for the guy who worked at the garage. He was a little dirty, but he seemed nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there shoots and ladders. I played that once or twice, but yeah. But I'm always up for good games. I'd love a good regular game night. But we have had some crazy sluggish games recently, so I have to watch that. All right. So what's in your lunchbox? Well, we'll start with Tom.
Well, it wasn't really my lunchbox, but what happens is during the winter time, um, we 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 go out and get ourselves a half a cord of wood, even though you know we don't. It's not like because I look at people who actually burn wood to warm their house, and we do that
Mhm.
too, but we more so for the just the aesthetics of it, and it's just lovely to feel the heat and the smell of the fire and let's
Mhm.
do it pop. But we've been past few years we get a bag of marshmallows and we leave them by the on the table near the fireplace, and I've got some skewers and we just cook up some marshmallows and
Mhm.
because I don't like s'mores because they're too messy.
Yeah.
And with these, you cook. I usually put three on a skewer, and they pull right off into they're held together, and then you just pop the whole marshmallow into your mouth, and it's just
Mhm.
gooey and lovely and
Yeah.
warm, and so it's just a really fun thing to do. And I don't think a lot of people take advantage when they do have a fire of throwing some marshmallows. We should actually think about doing maybe cooking some hot dogs too. That would be kind of
Oh,
fun, just to be fun, because
yeah.
my brother he loves fires and like he loves to camp, so he loves campfires. So whenever I have a fire, I always have to take a picture of it and send it to him.
Oh, you have a camp in instead of camp out.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have to sleep on the ground.
Yeah, that's always a plus, especially trying to get up from it. Um, that's my issue. But I think that's great, and it made me want. I'm always impatient, and I end up doing just letting it catch fire and having the charcoal, which
Well,
I'm
and
fine with. It tastes fine to me.
I did bring out the oven mitt so your hand doesn't get too hot, so
Good.
you can get in those, because I get into the coal areas, not the flame areas, and when it starts to smoke you turn it and you keep turning it. And there was a few nights where I just got the best. It was so soft and so gooey, and but boy, that marshmallow, don't
Uh,
get it on anything.
oh, I know. It won't
It
come off.
No, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
like glue. I don't know why they just don't make glue, marshmallow glue.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Mike Perry, and he said just some leftovers: chicken, broccoli, edamame, uh, taco meat, and peanuts. Wow, those aren't leftovers. They
And
look wonderful, though.
yeah, he just stripped down the shredded the chicken,
Yeah.
and then well, that's because this is like it's like a stir fry, you
Hmm.
know, just whatever you got, chop it up, throw it in, heat it up, eat it.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. It looks good. Thank you, Mike. And then we have Mr. Moose, who sent in something last minute, so I made sure to add it. Let's see. Let's start with it's a neighbor's birthday, and he loves shortbread cookies. So I just took these out of the oven, and we'll cut them up as soon as they cool in a bit, and going to surprise him shortly.
I thought it was cornbread because of the next picture,
Oh
but
yeah,
now that it's shortbread, I'm very happy. I'm even happier.
yeah. I love a good shortbread cookie, and actually thinking about it, I haven't had one in a long time.
Yeah, shortbread's just so good.
Yeah.
When we were up at the French Laundry, they finished the dinner. You get this little tin with five shortbread cookies in it,
Yeah.
and we took that back to the hotel, and it's like I think they were gone this first night. Well, we each got five too, and that's the thing. It's like
Yeah. Sounds really good. Cold here, wanted something to warm us up. Made chili, did the trick. Grass-fed beef, pinto beans, diced tomatoes, onions, yellow pepper, and celery. Topped with sour cream, lime juice, and not pickled, Fritos. Hmm.
Well, that's a lot of sour cream, but it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely looks good and makes me want chili now. Mixed greens, tomato, yellow pepper, avocado, olives, honey baked ham, homemade fried chicken strips, and ranch dressing. I feel healthy. And that must have been a salad.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
looks good.
looks great.
Well, this is a leftover salad.
Yeah,
It's because what do you have? Throw it in there. You can either heat it or you can put it on lettuce. It's great.
I had the salad that actually was a chef's salad from Winco, and I put some buttermilk ranch dressing on it that had no sugar in it, and oh my God, it was really good. For being like a Winco salad where you're like, is it gonna be good? I don't know. It was. It was good. All right, send us what's in your lunchbox at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can go over to our Facebook group at facebook.com/chubsgonewild and check out all the posts that we just talked about, what's in your lunchbox. Find Tom's other podcasts at swannerandjudd.com. Find my other projects at justkisstheguy.com. And find all of our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And give us an email at
ChubsGoneWild@gmail.com.
yes. And you can also, just go over to chubsgonewild.com and check out the posts. But if you're hearing this, you probably don't need to. All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.